A little bit of introduction on the company that I work for. So Schneider Electric is a global multinational. We're in the energy management sector, so hopefully we can bring some energy into this session. 25 billion euros of sales, 160,000 people employed around the world in more than 150 countries. And it's a company that I've been proud to be part of for the last 20 years in different positions in different companies. And if you want to know more about that, either you've got to connect with me on LinkedIn or you need to read the brochure that we have for this particular conference. So let's move on to this subject. What does it mean in terms of building the culture of positive productivity in global finance operations? And I'm going to touch on things that are very practical. This is not theory, guys. This is practical reality. This is about the walk that we've made, and this is about our experiences. 6.5 years ago, our global management asked us to set up shared services. And we did that in 3 different regions, one being Asia Pacific, the second being in the Americas, and the third being in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And as part of that initial journey, I was working and living in Asia, where I've spent a number of years of my life. At that time, I was living in China, and after that, I then moved to India before actually moving to Poland 4 months ago. And our goal in the initial part of the journey was all about productivity. All right? We were doing it. Other companies were doing it. Basically, a lot of people were jumping on this bandwagon of how do you drive productivity in your business. And we were so anxious to get this moving, all right, that we more or less lifted what we had without shifting it. All right, now I'm not here to judge whether that was the right approach or not. That was our reality because of time. All right, we needed to start this thing moving, and we needed to do it quickly. So we lifted what we had, and we moved a lot of our global accounting support to the developing world, to Mexico, to Poland, to India, to China, and to the Philippines. And after that, we began to look at how we can make the shift approach. What were the benefits of that? Did we achieve the objective of driving productivity? Well, yes, we did. And these are real numbers here. We reduced, in the context of our European business, our costs, our accounting costs to support the business by 33%. And by the way, this number here is without the salary inflation effect. So if we added that in, we'd be more than 40%. So yes, we achieved a lot of productivity, but it didn't come without its challenges. What were those challenges? Well, the first challenge was the challenge of execution consistency. You see, we had lifted things as they were in Asia. We had lifted things as they were in North America. And guess what? What we did in Asia and what we did in North America was different. And we also had different technology that was driving our processes in those different regions. So we had a problem because we had different processes, we had different tools, and of course, we had different people working on those processes. The second thing is that having delivered results for our stakeholders, guess what? They wanted more. Yeah? Does that sound a familiar theme? Yeah? People are always hungry for more, right? So how do we achieve sustained productivity gain? Where is the efficiency after the initial arbitrage? Okay, guys, you have now the economies of scale. You have 250 people in Poland. You have 300 people in India. You have 150 people in Mexico. What's next? You know, how are you going to keep this engine moving? How are you going to keep this transformation sustained. And on the side of our customers, because let's not forget that we're in this also for our customers as well. That's our internal customers, the businesses that we support. They wanted to make sure that we were not going to drop the ball in terms of quality. They wanted to see us delivering a sustained quality. In fact, even more than that, they wanted the quality to be better than it was at the start. And last but not least, and I appreciate the previous talk from the Deloitte organization, it's all about people, because in our team of 1,200 people in our global landscape today, we have a team that's 28, 29 years on average, and not 50 something like myself. And it's all about engagement for young people. The way that they do things is not the same that I did things when I was younger and working in the 1980s. In those days, a lot of companies still have the old handwritten ledgers. I don't know if any of you remember that, all right? And today it's all about technology. It's also about digitization. It's about social media. And it's about having fun at work. And it's about work-life balance. Yeah? So all of those are important to the people that we have in this Generation Y. We may even call it Generation Z community. So these were the new challenges that we had in front of us. And that caused us to think, well, we need to do something different. So what did we do? We developed a methodology to address three things. Number one, how do we add value for our customers? Remember, the customers are all about quality, it's all about sustainability. How do we eliminate the waste that we have in our processes, knowing that we had moved them as is in a lift before the shift approach? And thirdly, and very importantly, how do we increase the engagement of our team? Because without our team being engaged, we wouldn't achieve anything. And this is what we did. We looked internally in the company. We said, okay, who's doing something about how do you drive more productivity? And we first of all looked at the supply chain. We said, these people have got a lot of experience. We manufacture ourselves most of what we sell. We've got lots of factories, lots of distribution centers around the world. What can we learn from this about their particular processes? Which taught us something about Lean or even Six Sigma we can mention. But the problem is that what they do is mostly about machines. It's mostly about warehouses. It's mostly about factories. And we need to take something and we need to apply it in a world of processes and a world of people. So we teamed up with our friends here from 4 Results, who had a concept called positive productivity. And I'm not here actually to tell you a lot about positive productivity. This is your appetizer, all right? The main course is coming up this afternoon, all right? So if you want to know more about positive productivity, come after lunch to see the stream that we're going to be part of. But we teamed up with 4 Results, and we developed a methodology together that we today call the Schneider Leanergy system. So it's about lean and it's about energy, all right? Leanergy, all right? How do we take these principles to drive value? How do we encourage engagement in our teams? And how do we do that in the context of an office? We started in 2004 in Poland, in the center in Poland, with some pilots, and then extended that to our team. And then, beginning of this year, I appointed a global leader who is Polish for this particular work. And I said, Teresa, can you go to China? She said, where? I said, can you go to China? She had never been to China. And it's funny because at one stage she asked me, how do you pronounce the Chinese names? It's very difficult. And I told her, well, for you, pronouncing Chinese names is like pronouncing Polish names for me. No, it's not so easy. But we had a team. We went to China, and we took some of the knowledge that we had in Poland. We trained our Chinese team. We identified what we call lean masters to be able to drive this initiative. And then after doing that, in Q1 of this year, we said, okay, what's next? Okay, it's time to go to the Philippines. So our team went to the Philippines, and that was the first experience they'd had at going to work with people in the Philippines. You know, that nice, very, very sunny place, east of the world, famous for pineapples, famous for bananas, yeah? But full of people who are passionate and eager to learn. And in our next plans, we are about to launch next month in India the same training, the same development program, and in Q1 of next year, we're going to do the same in our team in Mexico. What have been the benefits of this? Because, you know, it's all good to talk about the experience of people doing things in different parts of the world, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of us are financial people, and, you know, we like to measure things, and we like to see some benefits. So let me show you some of the benefits that we've had. The first one is that we have driven 250 process improvements in 2015. And if you came to our office in Warsaw, you'd see this tube full of balls, and each ball represents an idea. They're little white balls. And it's very visual, and it's very easy for people to see. And every time somebody has an idea, a ball goes in the tube. Yeah, so that we can measure the number of ideas that we've had. And then we have, on a monthly basis, we have an award session, and we give awards for the best ideas and the best solutions. In terms of hours that we can work, we have saved what we call 40,000 opportunity hours. So that means that as a result of the improvements, we've got an extra 40,000 hours that our people can devote to doing other things or driving further changes. And that's a great benefit for the organization. And from a people engagement point of view, our employee engagement index, and I think this is a very globally measured formula, now stands at 70%, which puts us 6 points above the previous year and compares very favorably to the industrial benchmark, which is about 14% less than that. It's about 53 or 55% globally for people in the industrial sector. So a very driven organization. And not forgetting our customers, because at the end of the day, everything is about what we do for our customers. Our customer satisfaction has risen in the past 2 years from 75% to 83%, which represents a 8-point increase. And what is not on the slide here, but is also very relevant, is that now 84% of the people that we survey answer the survey, and 2 years ago it was only 50%. So not only has the satisfaction increased, but the number of people who can be bothered to answer the survey that we send out has also increased as well. And a last point, and it's also very important because we work in this very global world today, we've seen a lot of cultural enrichment across our organization. I have now people in Poland going to China, but also have people in China talking to the people in the Philippines. And I have people in Mexico saying, well, you're going to do this next year, but can we just have a meeting this year so we can find out a little bit about this? And I'm being told that time is coming up and I'm just about to finish, so we're perfect for that. If you do want to know more, there's two things that you can do, all right? The most important thing is that you can come to our session this afternoon, and I will go on to this slide for that. So if you want to find out more about this, come to our positive productivity session that we have this afternoon. The second thing you can do is drop me an email, and I'd be very happy to send you a short video to tell you more about this initiative and what it's bringing for our organization. Thank you.